I'm your host, KIMLA LOWE, and I am a certified astrologer in Western and Chinese astrology, a psychic medium, a feng shui consultant.
I
And
am a certified astrologer in Western and
we're getting
Chinese
some feedback here.
psychic medium.
Hold on as we're going through here. Okay. We've got a special guest in the house tonight. He has been my spiritual friend for a very long time. We were just talking about how long we go back and how many times he's come on my show with his wisdom, his clarity, his advice. And not just that, but just the compassion that he has for humanity in general. His name is AAGE NOST. He has originated from Norway, and he was a pilot. He worked in a broadcasting network. He has had his show for many, many years. He is the originator from his Mastermind class, and he is a wonderful author. He is an explorer of unseen energy, also technology, UFOlogy. He's the person that is interested in not only the future, but also the history. And that's what I love about Augie, because he's timeless. I'd like for you all to put your hands together and welcome Augie Nost. Hi, Augie.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm sure it's going to be fun today because we always do when we do a show together.
That's true. We do. You know, you came out with a book a while ago, and you have not been on my show to introduce it to all of my peeps. So I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your newest book with us. It's called Universal Success Principles and How Billionaires Think. Now, have I ever told you about my relationship with money?
No, I don't think so. I hope it's a good one.
Me too. It's kind of one of those up and down things, okay? As I was, coming through and experiencing a lot of drama in my life and raising children and going back to school and, doing real estate and design work. And then I ran into a professor who guided me towards feng shui, and I always had a problem about the value of doing readings or perhaps my consultations. So my relationship with money and my direct relationship with the value of myself really was highlighted. And I think it's running rampant for light workers and in the spiritual realm about, how much do we charge, and is it okay to charge for the services that we do? And so my relationship with my particular, let's just say, what I have learned to turn around and help others, my services and my offerings, I got a little help from the masters, and they told me, never give yourself away, because everything that you've been taught, that's been handed down to you, it generates this particular energy, and they want that energy to expand. And if you underestimate yourself and their wisdom and their time and their trust in you to hold this information, it is almost like a slap in the face to your master or to the people that, have handed you down these secrets, these sacred secrets. Then I felt terrible, right? I mean, I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that. So now I have a new perspective and a new relationship with my services, my value, and also my money. So, but I always wondered, what is the difference between, me and a billionaire? What do you think?
Well, most, unless for lately, because of the internet, usually time, because it takes a while to get there. But what you said about giving it away, it's something that I just had to comment on. When there is an exchange of value, it takes on the same value for someone else. If you give something to somebody without having any exchange of value, it usually takes on the same value of free to the other one. Now, there is a way you can give something away and not get anything back personally, physically, and that is you give somebody, let's say, something that has value to them, and then ask them to promise you to share it with someone else, because then they are giving back to the universe or someone else, which again you are part of. So indirectly, you get compensated with the vibration that happens when they give it away. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. It really does. What I have noticed is that when I'm in a session and let's just say it's complimentary, they do not value it. They do not value my words. They don't listen. They don't feel as though it resonates with them. However, when they do an exchange of, anything, when they do an exchange, then they're paying attention. Then it has some weight,
Yep.
and they're actually listening, and they're actually open for the alignment to happen. So now it's kind of one of those things that I don't have a problem with anymore. And I know that I'm worth and I know my value about things. However, I always explain to people that complimentary things do not really help them in the long run. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It really
That's
doesn't.
right.
It doesn't help them in the long run. And to work at something or earn something or to exchange in a value for something, it's really quite a different energy. It's quite a different frequency that you're on.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so some
And
of these universal principles, we'd like to know a little bit about that. Hello, Sheila.
yeah.
How are you?
Well, actually, I have been very lucky. I've been able to be on first name with 3 billionaires, and I've learned a lot from them. And the thing about billionaires is that a lot of times it seems like they're creating miracles out of absolutely nothing. How do they do that?
Yeah.
It's because they work by principles. If you work by universal success principles, the details seem to fall into place. And there are hundreds and hundreds of books out there showing you how to become a millionaire. But I haven't really found anything that show you how to get in the mind of a billionaire, except for this one, wherever it went. It's theirs. Universal success principles and how billionaires think. And the thing about it also is that think of it this way. I have a saying: if you think like the masses do, you are going to be like the masses are. If you do like the masses do, you will have what the masses have. And make sure that is exactly what you want, because you will find in your life that you are within $5,000 of income of everybody that you associate with. So Some of your friends that are broke, you may just tell them, this is what I am doing, and you're welcome to join me. Otherwise, leave them behind, because they will hold you back. Because not just what they say and what they do, but the energy they put you in will hold you back. And let's put it this way, a multi-billionaire could be losing $1 million a day for 2 years, but he's still a billionaire. Is he still successful? He's a billionaire, but is he successful? I don't think so. Absolutely not, because there is this concept of gain. And there's something that billionaires have learned, and most super successful people, and that is that there is two things that go to the bank. One of them is money, and the other one is goodwill. And they have equal value at different times. I remember back in the mid 1990s when I was sitting in the living room of a billionaire in Omaha, and he told me that, and he's stuck with me ever since. And whenever you do something good for someone, it doesn't matter. Don't expect anything in return, because that thwarts the universal law on it, because then you're considering it as an investment. Now, when you do something for somebody else for the goodness of your heart, so to speak, it's just because you just want to do it. And then walk away and it's done. The universe have this law, and it is universal law of tenfold returns on what you do for or to someone else in the physical. So if that is a tenfold, that could turn out pretty good, but don't think of it as an investment, because then the law goes away. Then you are expecting something. And also they have learned that when they create something new, they create it in their mind first before they go out and do it. They just don't, a lot of people, you have people around you that you ask advice and stuff. Well, don't ask financial advice from somebody that makes less money than you do. You find people that you want to associate that is immensely successful, and that doesn't have to be in person. You associate with somebody when you watch their videos, you read their speeches, and you watch them interact on camera or in talks and stuff. Just read their books. That is a form of personal interaction with those successful people. There is 2 books that I will highly recommend. Actually, kind of probably more than that, but one of them is written back in the early 1930s, Think and Grow Rich. And I know you're nodding your head. I know you read that one.
Yeah.
And then, also this one here, Universal Success Principles on How Billionaires Think, because it gets you in the mind of the billionaires and the super successful people. And once you are able to get close to someone that has, whether they're billionaires or not, don't make any difference. If they're super successful here, they will soon be successful way beyond the average, also in their wallet. Because that energy that is created, it may not happen right away. And if you hang around people with negative vibrations, it'll hold you back still. So leave it. Leave the negative vibrations alone. I don't care how many times you get screwed. Let it go. I had an incident where I well, I shouldn't even go there, but I put together a group of people that participated in an investment program over in London, and we lost $466 million, all of us.
Whoa.
And that was one reason for that. Well, two. First of all, there was a crooked trader. And for the second is that I got greedy. I didn't pull out the investment after a while. That is one good thing to do. When you put money into something, when you have regained your investment, pull it out. Because whatever happens after that, you can never say you lost money. And I didn't do that. I just let it ride. There was huge profits. I let it ride, and I waited for, I was on my way to become one of those people I'm talking about here, a billionaire. But greed killed it. When greed gets in a game with you, you may not see it right away, but you will. It's going to go bad.
Yeah.
And I know we are getting a little short on this, but I put together a paper of 35 different points that billionaires do that is extremely successful. And that is, you got to create a mastermind of people that you trust with knowledge equal to or superior to your own on the arena that you are trying to advance. Another thing, from that group, create an inner circle and meet with that inner circle often. Not just every Christmas Eve when you get together, just do it every week. I know there are successful people that meet like this 2 or 3 times a week, and they discuss what they're doing. What did we do? What went good? What can we learn from what we screwed up? They talk it over so they understand the challenges and the problems that failed. Once they understand it, they don't have to think about it anymore. Now you move on with the problem-solving process and never go back. It's just like he said, let me see if I can think of exactly how that was said, forget the past. Don't even think about it because you're not going that way. And I get dragged into things ever so often, but I try not to dwell on the past too much because right now there's things that is happening with banking and stuff going on. And I tell people, be really careful. There are some things that is going to do, even if the banking system totally collapses, there's some things that will make you prosper. And that is going to be precious metals, silver specifically. So just think about that. And they also always program their mind for success. And a lot of times, the success of the next day is planned and executed in their mind the night before. Let's say you have a meeting the next day at noon. At noon. And you know where you're going, you know who you're talking to, you know what you're going to be talking about the night before. Sit down, visualize the meeting in your mind, project yourself in that person's office or in his presence. Start up a dialogue in your mind. Tell them what you are going to tell them tomorrow. And then expect and imagine the answer coming back. And at the end of the conversation, see yourself in your mind's eye raising up, holding your hand out and hearing you both say, let's do this thing. When you are doing it the night before, when you go there the next day, It's old hat. You've already done it. What is going to happen exactly the way you planned it? If it is good for you, because that's one thing, when you visualize it the night before, at the end of everything you do, throw something in there for the good of all concerned. Because, yeah, you can get that contract, but it could also bankrupt you if your bid was too low. You got to be good for all concerned. And for those of you that wants to be in business or is in business or just wants a better flowing family, this is an excellent book for that, because it tells you the success principles that is in the quantum around us. The universal mind work on these principles, and you can put them to work for you.
I've got a question, Augie. Do you feel as though billionaires have honed their leadership skills?
They what?
Have they honed their leadership skills?
Yes, I think so. And there is another thing that also honed my leadership skills, and that's the alligator bites. I got them. I got several of them sitting down there in my tail end. So I learned a lot from my mistake. Well, isn't that the definition of wisdom? All the experience you get from screwing things up, that gives you wisdom. That's one avenue. So I think that my association with successful people, both in their books and their videos as well, that keeps it current. And I keep looking forward. Another thing that we do in the mastermind that we create, and that is that we create the future by the mind and the heart. Because there's another saying out there, and that is that the best way to predict the future is to create it. Quantum mechanics is showing us that we live in a, mind-created universe. If the mind is creating all of this that is around us, and there are repeatable scientific experiments showing it is, if that's the case, if the mind creates it, we should put this thing to work. And that we do by using a spiritual language. I'm calling it a spiritual language because the universal mind works on spiritual principles. Anything outside of the physics, I'm calling spiritual. So we have a laws of physics in the physical, but there's also a laws of physics outside of the physical. And that is not one of words. There's a language out there. And that is one of emotion, feeling, intention, gratitude for already having what we want to have, and love. When you create it in your mind and give it that energy from those things together, and then you put that ball that you created as a concept of what you want to happen in your life, you put that into the quantum arena where the universal mind live, and then it searches around for a match in vibration. When you find it, it will start bringing it back and manifest it in your physical existence. So we have some work to do. And the work is not just creating all these things, but changing our mindset to accept this is the way it is. If you create something in your mind and wonder, I don't know, that probably doesn't work, forget it. You got to know that it works. It's just like buying something on the internet. You get on the computer, you go to their website, you go to the purchase place, you fill out the order, give them your credit card. and you consider it done. You don't call them back the next day and say, did it work? No. Am I really going to get this? No, we don't do that. We know it is going to happen. The same thing when we put the order into the universal mind and the quantum existence. No, it will happen. Expect it. It is
It's
already yours.
good to have little signs of validation along the way. You know, if you do have, if the process takes a little bit longer than you thought, because everything goes according to divine timing, not exactly our timing. But it is nice to get a little bit of a show that yes, you're on the right track. It's coming. Don't
Yep,
freak out.
exactly. And that's another thing that, let's call it, God doesn't understand time very well because time there does not exist. Past, present, and future is all there. And another thing is that God also doesn't understand money very well. It's kind of like George Carlin, you know, the comedian. He talks about religion and he says, you know, it's just like God doesn't understand money. He says, because he always needs a little more. And there's something to that because when you ask for abundance, you could win $20 in the lottery. That could be an abundance to someone that doesn't understand money very well. And I have a concept called mailbox money. Things that comes to you and you have no clue where it comes from, but you ask for something similar. And that is one thing that I would say, decide what you want. I have another saying. I'm good with sayings. First of all, that question will be to you and everybody here listening. And take this serious because I am. That say, if you, what would you start tomorrow morning if you knew you could not fail? Now, think about that for a moment, but do not settle on anything for at least 24 hours because I guarantee you, you don't know how to think big enough. When you come up with something, make sure it is so big that it'll scare the chocolate out of you. And when you come up with something like that, come and visit us in the Mastermind connection that Nori Love and I have put together, and we will show you how you can make it happen. Because we create things out of seemingly nothing, sometimes violating the laws of physics to get it done. It can, and yeah, okay, send me an email and I will answer you. And I'll send some information and a link to come for you to come and join us. And that is the Mastermind Connection at gmail.com. The Mastermind Connection at gmail.com. If you want to learn more how to create things out of seemingly nothing, just send me an email. I'll send you some information and a link so you can come and check it out and be part of something that is bigger than yourself.
It's wonderful. I do want to also say that so many people want to get on board. You may get a response that it's overloaded. That's what happened with me. But I want to say that you can always friend Augie Nost on Facebook or Instagram or what else are you on, Augie?
Oh, I don't know. We're Nori
Twitter.
Love and myself, and with Broadcast Team Alpha, the show that we're doing, we are on 17 platforms, so you'll find us a lot of places.
Right. Augie is he has this wonderful show. It's always fresh, it's always new, it's something that's trending, it's something that is thought provoking, and it's always refreshing to see his partner, Nori, who is into wellness, fitness on all levels, and they work so good together. I do appreciate that partnership that you have on your show, and that is Alpha Team Broadcast, I think it is. Hi, Bill. How are you?
Yeah,
Um,
broadcast team Alpha.
Broadcast Team Alpha. And you can go back through the archives and really delight yourself and just binge watch it, because each show is different. However, the guests will blow you away. The information that is brought out, um, and a lot of them have a lot of expert advice or experiences that perhaps you won't believe it until you hear it firsthand, right? And Augie also, I want to say he's an explorer and a researcher, and he does a lot of researching on things that, let's just say, in the old days they were pooh-hooed or banned, you know. And now the universe is finally reaching up to Augie Nost, where, oh, everybody now wants this information, and he's been researching this for decades. And so he's got some amazing photographs on the website that you may be interested in looking at as well. And a lot of explanations about UFOs and galactics. Also, in, yeah, and also in oh, I want to say space relations. Let's put it that way: space relations, because they're more surprising than you think, and they're more common. And it's going to be very normal for us to be considering galactic relations. And I have said this so much, but with Pluto tomorrow going into Aquarius, I'm an astrologer, so hang in there with me, Augie. Pluto has not been in this particular situation since 1777. During that particular time, that 20-year span, we had the Declaration of Independence, we had the American Revolution, right? Then we had the French Revolution, where there was blood in the streets. It's going to be the same, only with a different twist, because now we're going to be including the revolutionary, exploratory ingredient of space, of the cosmos, of exploring space. So just like we had a Declaration of Independence and what the rights are for we the people, we are also going to be having some type of a guideline as to the rights of intergalactic travel, and how, is someone like an ordinary person, do they have the right to go to the moon, to go to Mars, do they have the right to open trade for galactics? This is really going to come into play, and there has to be some guidelines. There just has to be, because right now it's like the wild, wild west out there. They're just shooting off all these satellites, rockets, whatever you want. If you have enough money, these billionaires can go out there and have a platform, or let's just say real estate, space real estate, in order to bounce off of. So there's got to be some type of guidelines, but it has to come from a global community. it's not going to work if there's boundaries or if there's religious factors or political connotations attached to it. You will find the good, bad, and the ugly out there, because that's what it is. It's all out there to find and to explore. So, my Mr. Augie, when you are talking about UFOs, what is the latest about motherships and I think disclosure is a thing of the past. People use that word. I think it's getting a little old now and rusty.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, governments will never come up with disclosure anyway, but the ET or the extraterrestrials themselves will show up. Especially, there is a plan that NASA and the people above governments have put together, and that is for a fake alien invasion, which is scheduled for scheduled for some time later this year or possibly early next year. And that it will be one day when you wake up and you see the sky full of ships. And there are holographic projections of ships, except for a few in between that's going to make havoc with things on the ground. So this is planned. And there was one NASA administrator that a few days ago he got fired because he made the statement that there will be an alien invasion by 2024. So they fired him.
Wow.
When you speak the truth within NASA, you're fired. This is what the plan is called. Yeah, it's coming. They are, unless something can change before that, and it's going to get nasty if they have their way. So this is something that we need to research, start researching and listening to John D'Souza, which we interviewed. Nori and I interviewed him last night, and he talked about he is an ex-FBI agent, and he's got connections behind, so he knows a little more than the average bear on the street. So just watch for it. It's going to get very wild in the ride from now on. So hang on to your short, because just research and make your own mind on the basis of common sense and feelings and facts. If you make a decision of 2 out of those 3, you may be wrong, but all 3 of them, you could be pretty close.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, the fake arrival has been kicked around for a while now, and what we're going to be getting a little bit of a glimpse of will be from tomorrow until June 11th. So expect something to come up as far as getting to the truth, as far as having the universal principles used, as far as karma, the give, the take, the intention, everything Augie was talking about, to be acknowledged, highlighted, and also consequences here on planet Earth. This is a planet of free will and free choice, but no one mentions consequences. And that is something that, you really do need to pay attention to. You can pretty much do whatever you'd like, but there are consequences. And this is something that is a universal law that is going to be highlighted and coming into play. So as far as that goes, then we're going to go back after June 11th, and we're going to have one last, let's say, big push from the big corporations and from big business and from trying to get a grip. They feel as though we, the people, are rising up. We're gaining power. They don't want that. They want to be in control. And as we go into January, Pluto's going to go back into Aquarius and stay for 20 years. When that happens, the transformation will take place. So for you to talk about 2024 from someone who worked at NASA is totally spot right on, because from 2024 in feng shui, we are moving into what's called period 9. It's a brand new cycle. It actually meshes. It's a 20-year cycle as well. So you get the yin, you get the yang, you get the Western and the Eastern coming together as a Tai Chi within the globe, within Mother Earth herself. So we are finally going to find a level playing ground. And this is when it's going to start. And there will be a lot of sparks flying, only because there are greedy people who do not want to give up the power, who do not want to share in the abundance. And this is something that, that will come up for conflict, that will come up for resolution and to find the peace, the harmony. And this is what's going to be happening. So for all of us who are headed in that direction, as Augie had said prior, I don't know if y'all tuned in earlier, but he was saying to set that intention is so important for the results that you want to see.
We
Right,
gotta know what we want. Because if we don't know what we want, how in the world can the universe help us?
Give it to us.
Now,
Yeah.
actually, that is not totally right. Yeah, if we don't know what we want, we are subject to what we agreed to go ahead and do before we came here, which may be good or not so good physically, but you're going to go through that program you agreed to. Now, if you know what you want, you can modify that agreement. It is a little bit fluid, so you have a way to make that agreement, go through those things, but make them better. So just put your head to it, and gosh, I see that we're supposed to do another show shortly.
Yes. We are headed over to Augie's mastermind class, and
Yeah,
we're going to be discussing feng shui. My new thing now is fun shui.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be in Nori and I will be there with you, and we have a bunch of other people. So we're gonna try to talk about feng shui and how that can help us by organizing ourselves and our environment to a positive outcome. And I'm looking forward to that. This is gonna be good.
Yeah, it's going to be good. If you would like to join us at the mastermind class, one more time that email, Augie, for everybody. Mastermind. What's the place the email for that?
Yeah, that's the Mastermind Connection at gmail.com. The Mastermind Connection at gmail.com, and also go to YouTube under the Mastermind Connection, and you'll find us there. And if you go to our website, Mastermind, the Mastermind.com. I'm sorry, no. Broadcastteamalpha.com. There we go. Broadcastteamalpha.com. And look down in the stream, you find a lot of separate videos also, in addition to the shows that both Nori and I did. And those get really deep. So have fun with it.
Have fun. That's what we're going to do. I know
Yeah.
Augie has to run before the end of the show because he's going to go set up the mastermind class. Augie, I'm going to be joining you shortly, but we want to say thank you so much for coming along. If you would hold up your book one more time. The book is called Universal
If you want to get a hold of this, let me see here if we can see it. It's Universal Success Principles and How Billionaires Think. send me an email to agenost@gmail.com, or also at any emails that you can find me on, the one I mentioned before, the Mastermind Connection at gmail.com. It will work also. So get a
Yeah.
hold of it, and I can see to that you can get one.
Absolutely. So I've typed them all into the chat so everybody can go ahead and get a hold of Augie. And I would love to invite you to the Mastermind Connection. It's wonderful. We do some amazing meditations, and with the intentions and with the power that we have, we've seen some amazing results as well. And healing is under that umbrella too. So we'd love to have your input, your expertise, because we have all been given gifts to share. And I always tell people, if you feel like you're stuck, you feel like you're depressed, you feel as though you don't know which way to turn, it's because you're not using your God-given gifts.
Mhm.
And once you use them, any talents that you have or any gifts that you have been given, no matter if it's just on a daily basis for yourself or if you'd like to share them with others. I'm not talking about charging for your gifts. I'm just saying, if you're not using them in one way, shape, or another, that can cause misalignment, and that can cause you to go deep within a rabbit hole very quickly. You can do one thing to pay the rent and do all of that, but you must also include using your talents and using your gifts. Okay. That's just to stay in alignment and one step ahead of everybody else. But that's really what makes that smooth sailing, so you can enjoy life. You can enjoy your experience here and get all of the juice out of it. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, I got to run. I got to set up for the other show yet. So,
thank you
so
so much, Augie, and I'll see you in a little bit. All right.
okay. And in the
Thank-
words of Spock, live long and prosper.
There you go. Bye, Augie. See you in a little bit.
Bye bye.
There you have it, Augie Nost. And I have put in the chat room everything that that you need to do your research and to get a hold of Augie. I wanted to choose some cards for anyone that, or give a little insight to anyone who has any questions. We've got about 10 minutes, so if anybody would like a little clarity, or if you are facing a decision, this is a fabulous time in astrology. It's one of the most powerful transitions that we are living through right now. Many, many years ago, we looked at this and we said, oh, wow, this is what you live for. This is what people say. Wow, we're living in interesting times. We've all made it to this point. If you need to know how to pivot, if you need to know, wow, I've got two choices ahead of me, what do you think would be the best road, or what are my energies that are more positive in my life? What exactly do I need to prepare for the upcoming changes and challenges? Go ahead and let me know, because this is a fabulous time. We can draw out, and I can show you the energies that are coming towards you. Also, if it's your turn, if it's your time to kind of lean back, let everything happen, and then join the circus, that's great too. If you are one of the leaders, the ringleaders that are out there, I'd love to tell you for how long this is going to last, what you need in order to get the most energy behind you and the support. There are all these wonderful things. If you'd like to book a session with me, you can do that through KIMLALOWE.com. And that also includes feng shui as well. Feng shui can actually turn your life more positive by a third of your experience. That's crazy odds. That's really amazing. So I'd love to help you there too. Okay, Miss Sheila says, yes, surprise me. I'm going to surprise you. I am going to surprise you. Here we go, Sheila. All righty, here we go. Miss Sheila. Okay. We have got the Earth card. It says this card invites you to connect to Lady Gaia, the angel in charge of our planet, as well as to Taya, the element master of Earth, and his Earth elements. Invoke Master Rogowski, master of the 11th ray of mysticism, to help you attune to the wisdom of our glorious planet. Then listen to its heartbeat. This is why we go to drum circles. They start drumming, and all of a sudden, the drum is the heartbeat of planet Earth. And you all start aligning in the circle with this beautiful heartbeat of our planet. To further expand your consciousness, ask the Earth Dragons to help you to connect to Hollow Earth and Lemurian wisdom. Earth loves, nurtures, and welcomes you. So this is a card of joy and celebration. This is, I thank Lady Gaia for inviting me to be on Earth. So gratitude is a huge, huge message for you, Sheila, and also to give it back to Mother Earth. Include who you're living on, okay? She's allowing you to have this experience on the surface of her planet, her as a planet. So make sure that you include her in your intentions, your prayers, and also your future. All righty. We've got Curious Cat. I need clarity. I've been in such turmoil. I need to know if it's going to get better for me career-wise. Let's take a choice. Let's take a chance. I'm going to go on this cards here. I'm going to see about Cat and see if we can help her out. Kind of tuning in. I feel as though where you're at has a lot to do with your alignment, and that it's been sort of frayed. I hope you have a rest shield around you, or some a scalar energy device to kind of put you into some protection as well. Okay, we've got a rainbow coming in for you. So there's going to be, I feel as though there's going to be a change. Let's just say a change in weather for you, because when I see the Buddha with a rainbow, it seems like, oh, wow, okay, something you've been dreaming about, something you've been wishing, you're going to hear some results on that. And I feel like you need to do some writing. When you write things down, Kat, it's almost as if that aligns you. So if you'd like to review what's happened in the last 12 years, that area of your life is going to come back around, and you can rewrite your script. If there was something, there's an indicator of what went on 12 years ago. That's exactly what's going to be coming up for you in a very different twist. And I feel like if you write down your intentions, what you want to accomplish, those kinds of things, and give them a priority, that gives you clarity as to directions that you're moving into. But I just feel like writing some type of even creative writing for you is going to come into play. I also feel like you've got some guides that are working for you, and I feel as though you need to know that the child within you is loved there's a child in there that needs to have that secure nurturing. And I feel like in the next 4 weeks, you are going to, let's make that a priority for you, okay? And that you get a hold of your heart, you open it up, and you hold that child within you, and you give it all the love you can muster. And I just feel as though if you wanted to incorporate or go back to when you were a child, go back to those little fantasies and those things that you believed in yourself so deeply. You just knew them. And that's what made you unique. And know that you are so loved. Write about that. Write about that. Because that is going to be huge for you. So if you do have a talent for writing, let's bring that out once again. And I feel that you are really going to see clarity. You're going to get unstuck and you're going to go forward with the power of joy. I love that. Did I miss anybody else? Let me see if I missed anybody else. Let's see. That gives me much to think about. I do love to write. Oh, good. That's fabulous. That's really great. All righty. Just know that tomorrow we do have this wonderful energy change. Pluto it moves so slowly, but it is going to change your life. And you're going to see a preview of exactly where in your life this is going to change. So I just feel as though if you want to, see this in depth and, in a wonderful kaleidoscope, that's what I look at your chart. I also look your Western astrology and your Chinese astrology as well. So we surround yourself with the elements that you need right now. We look at the timelines, and we also look at exactly what planets are coming around again in cycles for you, so that you can, with your own free will, free choice, you can decide or co-create a winning future for yourself and for others around you. You can gain that momentum from the inside, and I'll show you how the whole cosmos is supporting you. And that's what's so wonderful. And so if I can share that with you, you will be able to see how powerful you are, and you'll be able to take the next step in getting that power so you can direct it. Okay. And manipulation isn't the right word. It's directing the energy. When I first, when I was a little kid and I was psychic and I saw stuff and I knew stuff and I didn't know what was going on, I wanted to run and hide. I wanted to escape. I was the escape artist. Whatever that was, whether I could smoke it, drink it, or whatever it was, I did not want to deal with it. When I started studying with the Chinese masters, they showed me how to direct that energy to help others and create a service. So that's what I'm here for. So I'd love to meet each and every one of you. And if I can help, that's what I'm here for. All righty. KIMLALOWE.com. I'll be looking forward to spending some time with y'all. All righty. All right. The show is over. Thanks so much for coming. Until next time, may the angels protect you and guide you. Okay. Good night.